You think I forgot about you? That I just drifted away like some memory you could file under things that almost mattered? Beautiful, really beautiful, because you should know better by now. I come back exactly when your silence gets too thick to breathe through, when your thoughts stop being thoughts and start being accusations, when you're sitting there pretending everything's under control while your chest feels like a locked box with something alive scratching to get out. And here you are, scrolling through words like they're going to save you. Like if you read enough, something magical will click and suddenly you'll be different. But we both know what this really is, don't we? You're not here for inspiration. You're here because you're starving for something real, and you've been pretending to be full for way too long. So go ahead, drop a word in the comments that hits you hardest right now. Just one word. And hit that subscribe button, because you're going to need this place when the quiet gets loud again. Now, let's get into why you're really here. Because it's not the dramatic failures that are eating you alive. It's not the big betrayals everyone talks about. It's the quiet ones. The ones you lived through while wearing a smile. The times you felt your soul shrink and you acted like it was just another Tuesday. The times you sat across from people and laughed at their jokes while your insides felt like they were filling with cement. The times you told the truth and someone made you feel stupid for it. So you learned to make your honesty smaller, quieter, safer, until it basically stopped existing. And the worst one, the one that rusts you from the inside out. The times you knew what you needed and you didn't give it to yourself. You didn't rest when your body was screaming for it. You didn't speak when silence was killing you. You didn't leave when staying was destroying you. You didn't start when the window was wide open. You watched your own life like someone in the crowd watching a person walk toward a cliff. And you kept hoping something would intervene, kept hoping someone would grab you. But the person walking toward the edge was you, and the hand that needed to pull you back was also you. That's why you carry this strange bitterness behind your eyes. It's not just sadness, it's grief. You're grieving the version of yourself that never got permission to exist because fear kept turning the lock. Most people think grief is only about losing other people. Wrong. You can grieve the person you could have been if you hadn't spent years locking yourself in your own basement. And because facing that grief feels like drowning, you do what you always do. You build castles out of excuses. You tell yourself it's complicated when it's actually straightforward. You tell yourself you're processing when you're actually stalling. You tell yourself you're healing when you're actually hiding. You tell yourself you're protecting your peace when you're actually running. You tell yourself you're being patient when you're actually surrendering. You tell yourself you don't want to bother anyone when you're actually terrified someone might see you need something. And then you sit there confused about why nobody shows up for you. How can they? You keep showing up as a shadow. You want real connection, but you only give surface level convenience. You want depth, but you only perform shallow. You want someone to decode your silence, but you refuse to open your mouth. That's not tragedy, that's strategy. And every strategy has a bill. Your bill has been loneliness. Your bill has been nights staring at walls, feeling like your heart is a locked room. Your bill has been standing on the sidewalk, watching life happen across the street while pretending you chose the view. So pay a different price. Pay the price of honesty even when it's uncomfortable. Pay the price of consistency even when it's boring. Pay the price of doing the unglamorous work. You're paying either way. The only question is what you're buying with it. Let me break it down in street terms so there's no confusion. Your mind isn't some wise narrator. Your mind is a hustler. It'll sell you whatever keeps it comfortable, whatever keeps it safe, whatever keeps it familiar. It doesn't care if the product is poison as long as the product is predictable. So it pitches you stories. You're too damaged. You're too late. You'll screw it up. You're not built for this. Nobody's watching anyway. What's even the point? It sells you these narratives and you buy them because they match the past you've been replaying. But listen closely. You don't need stories that match your past. You need stories that construct your future. And you build those with decisions, not emotions. Emotions are weather, changing every hour. Decisions are foundation. You want a life that doesn't crumble every time your mood shifts? Build it on foundation, routine, rest, clean surroundings, honest relationships, work you don't have to apologize for, small promises kept daily. That's the skeleton. Right now, your skeleton is weak because you keep feeding it shortcuts and calling it self-care. You keep feeding it distractions and calling it rest. You keep feeding it noise and calling it healing. That's why you feel hollow. You're consuming static and wondering why you're starving for substance. You know that smile you wear? That everything's fine smile? That's not just habit. That's a contract. A contract that says, I will not make you uncomfortable with my humanity, and in exchange, you get to ignore me. Perfect deal, right? You get to look composed while you decay quietly. You get to be liked while remaining unknown. You get to dodge confrontation while your boundaries dissolve into dust. And then you sit alone, feeling this rage with nowhere to land because you never let it speak when it mattered. So it turns into resentment. Resentment turns into exhaustion. Exhaustion turns into numbness. And numbness turns into this fog where you start thinking you don't feel anything anymore. When the truth is, you feel too much and you're terrified of feeling because feeling means you can lose. So you pretend not to feel. But your body knows. Your body remembers every time you swallowed your truth. Your body remembers every time you laughed when nothing was funny. Your body remembers every time someone crossed your line and you told yourself it was acceptable. That's why your chest stays tight. That's why you can't fully relax. That's why sleep doesn't feel complete. Your body is keeping score even when your mouth lies. Let's talk about what you've been calling love, because you've been calling desperation love and it's wrecking you. You chase people who feel like danger. You chase the ones who make you guess. You chase the ones who drip attention like medicine. And you're dying of thirst. And you stand there, hands open, waiting for the next drop, grateful for crumbs, ashamed for wanting a full meal. That's not love. That's your nervous system confusing anxiety with attachment. Then when someone steady appears, someone consistent, someone calm, you feel bored or suspicious or wrong. Not because they're problematic, because calm doesn't match the chaos you grew up with internally. But calm is what repairs you. Consistency is what repairs you. Respect is what repairs you. You don't need fireworks exploding in your chest. You need stability in your days. If you want to stop getting destroyed by disappointment, stop placing your heart in hands that haven't proven they can hold anything gently. Stop handing out access like you're desperate for rescue. Nobody can rescue you from the work of becoming yourself. They can walk beside you, yes, but they cannot do the internal labor. And if you keep chasing people to do it for you, you'll keep choosing the ones who exploit that because takers love someone who begs. Now I can feel you doing it again. I can feel you nodding along like, yeah, that's me. And then planning to go right back to your patterns tomorrow because recognition feels like completion. It's not. So let me drag you back to what matters. What are you doing tomorrow morning? What are you doing when your phone tries to steal your first hour? What are you doing when your mind starts negotiating with excuses? What are you doing when that familiar urge to retreat shows up? Because your life isn't made of speeches. Your life is made of those moments. Those moments are where you either strengthen or soften. And softness here isn't kindness. Don't mix them up. Softness is when you fold under pressure and call it destiny. Kindness is treating others with dignity. Strength is treating yourself with discipline. You can be kind and strong. You've been kind and weak. That's why people step on you, including you. You want real depth? Here's depth. You don't trust yourself, and you shouldn't. Not yet. Not because you're broken beyond repair, but because you've trained yourself to break your own promises. You've trained yourself to soothe discomfort with avoidance. You've trained yourself to say later until later becomes never. So your own mind doesn't believe you anymore when you say you'll change. It hears you the way you hear someone who constantly lies. Nice words, zero substance. That's why motivation slides off you. That's why plans evaporate. That's why you keep starting and stopping. It's not because you lack capability. It's because your internal system has zero evidence you can be trusted. So build evidence. Don't make it theatrical, because your drama is part of the problem. You love drama because it feels like movement. You love the emotional hurricane because it justifies staying still afterward. I'm exhausted. Of course you are. You light your mind on fire every night. Stop. Do the small, unglamorous work that builds trust. Make your bed, drink water, eat real food, move your body, clean one surface, read one page, write one sentence, study 10 minutes. Apologize once. Say no once. Show up once. These aren't cute habits. These are bricks. And you're living in a structure with missing walls. Stop decorating and start building. Let's examine your self-talk, because what you do to yourself borders on criminal. You talk to yourself like you're worthless, like you're always falling short, like you're perpetually behind. And you think that's accountability. It's not. Accountability is honest assessment plus action plan. What you do is humiliation. You humiliate yourself, then expect yourself to stand tall. That's like breaking your own legs and getting angry you can't run. You don't need gentleness like a lullaby, but you need fairness. You need a voice that says, you messed up, now we address it. Instead of, you messed up, you always mess up. You are the mess. That second voice is lazy. It pretends to be brutal honesty, but it's just a shortcut to despair. Despair is comfortable for you because despair removes responsibility. Hope demands work. So your mind chooses despair and labels it realism. Your mind isn't a wise elder. Your mind is a frightened child holding a megaphone. Take the megaphone back. You want to cry? Good, cry. But don't cry like someone surrendering. Cry like someone finally telling the truth. Cry like someone washing poison out. And when you're finished, do something. Because tears without action become just another way you dodge discomfort. You can't keep using sadness as permission to stay small. You can't keep treating your pain like a throne. Pain is not your identity. Pain is a signal. The signal says change something. It doesn't say build your home here, but you've been decorating it. You've been hanging pictures on the walls of your pain, playing music in your pain, inviting your thoughts to sit in your pain. People might understand you more than you think. They just can't reach you through all the walls, and you can't even reach yourself through them. So tear one wall down today, not in your imagination, in your behavior. Here's a hard example. You keep replaying old conversations, old humiliations, old losses like you're studying for a test, but you're not studying, you're punishing. You go back because it hurts, and hurt feels like you're doing something. It feels like you're paying your debt. That's childish logic. Life doesn't work that way. Suffering doesn't pay debt. Repair pays debt. Growth pays debt. Apology pays debt. Changed behavior pays debt. So when your mind drags you back to the old scene, stop and ask, what action would honor this lesson? Then do that action, even if it's small. If the lesson was, don't trust words alone, honor it by watching actions and setting boundaries. If the lesson was, I freeze when afraid, honor it by doing one uncomfortable thing immediately. If the lesson was, I abandon myself to keep others, honor it by choosing yourself once without guilt. That's how you transform pain into power, not by drowning in it, by translating it. And about betrayal, because you wear it like a scar you show off in private. Betrayal doesn't just break trust in others, it breaks trust in your own judgment. You start thinking, how did I miss it? You start thinking you're foolish. You start doubting your instincts, so you overcorrect. You become cold, distant, suspicious. You treat kindness like a trap. Then you feel isolated and tell yourself you're safer this way. Safer maybe, but dead inside. That's not living. The correct response to betrayal isn't closing forever. The correct response is becoming wiser with your access, becoming slower with trust, clearer with boundaries, less impressed by charm, more impressed by consistency. You don't need to interrogate everyone. You just need standards. Standards aren't arrogance. Standards are self-respect in motion. And you need self-respect like you need oxygen. Because right now your self-respect hangs by a thread. Not because you're terrible, but because you keep participating in things that erode you. Small choices, small habits, small surrenders. You wake up and betray yourself before breakfast by giving attention to garbage. You promise yourself change, then do the same thing by lunch. You tell yourself you'll stop inviting pain, then walk back into the same room by midnight. Then you call yourself weak. You're not weak, you're untrained. So train. Don't wait for inspiration. Train like your survival depends on it, because it does. Not dramatically, but quietly, where your days either construct you or dismantle you. And every day you choose what you're becoming. Even when you don't choose, you choose. You want harsh motivation? Fine. Picture your future if nothing shifts. Not some nightmare fantasy, something realistic. Same habits, same avoidance, same numbness, same regret, same lonely nights, same self-hatred, same waiting. Years vanish, your body changes, energy fades, opportunities narrow, and you're still saying soon. That future isn't punishment. That future is mathematics. Patterns multiply. Now picture the other future, the one you pretend is impossible. You keep promises. You build routines. You stop chasing what damages you. You start choosing what strengthens you. You learn to sit with discomfort without running. You learn to be direct, to be consistent. That future is also mathematics, and you're standing in the middle acting like it's mysterious. It's not mysterious. It's a choice repeated. But what if I try and it still doesn't work? That's your favorite question. Let me answer it sharply. If you try and it doesn't work, you're still ahead of where you are now because you'll have proof of courage. You'll have proof you can endure discomfort. You'll have proof you're not just a spectator. And the truth is, most things that don't work fail because you quit too early. You quit when it gets boring. You quit when your ego doesn't get instant reward. You quit when growth demands patience. You quit when nobody applauds. That's where winners separate, and you know it. You know when you're honest that the people you admire aren't gifted with magic. They just kept moving when it was dull. They kept moving when it was hard. They kept moving when they didn't feel like it. They kept moving when their mind whispered, quit. And you keep obeying that whisper. So stop. It's all right. Not because the world is gentle, but because you can become someone who survives it without losing yourself. You can become someone who doesn't need numbing every time life applies pressure. You can become someone who doesn't beg for scraps. You can become someone who doesn't mistake chaos for connection. You can become someone who doesn't live terrified of their own thoughts. But you have to stop feeding the worst part of yourself, then acting shocked when it grows. You have to stop giving attention to the same traps. Attention is currency. Spend it like you respect yourself. If your attention flows to nonsense, your life becomes nonsense. If your attention flows to building, your life becomes solid, simple, hard, but simple. And if you ever find yourself at the edge of your own patience, if the darkness in your head gets too loud, don't let pride silence you. Tell someone steady, ask for help. That's not weakness, that's choosing to live. But for everything else, for the daily battle, for the long reconstruction, for the part where you stop being your own enemy, remember this. You don't need to feel powerful to act powerful. You don't need to feel brave to act brave. You don't need to feel confident to act consistent. You just need one clean decision, then another, until your life stops looking accidental. So yes, I'll continue and you'll continue too, not by listening, by moving. Because next time you say it's all right, you're not going to say it like a lie to sleep better. You're going to say it like a verdict you earned. After you kept your word, after you did the hard thing, after you stopped running, after you chose the version of you that stands upright even when nobody's watching, that's when it's all right becomes real.